Hi, Corey Stack here. Now, after all that serious stuff, it's time to party. I'm going to a very interesting event this afternoon, which I'm really looking forward to. In fact, I was me that suggested it, and very good people that I'm friendly with organised it, in the spirit that it was intended, because we had a colleague who unfortunately passed away from motor neuron condition, and it was her name was Miss Miriam Walsh. And she was a fantastic person in the Stoke County Kerry. And when I heard of her untimely, unfortunate death, and I thought we needed to have a reunion. So it really, in my opinion, is to honour the wonderful Miss, we used to call her Mears, and we played with her down in the square of the Stole, and she was great for inviting everyone to her parties, and her cousins, the O'Sullivans, were fantastic and everything else. And it was a great place, and of course the castle was there and everything was Stole Arms. The place was fantastic whack. Really, she was a wonderful, fantastic person. Mary Walsh used to call her Mears, and she had a really heart of gold, brilliant person, great friend, and lovely person altogether. And it was awfully sad to hear what happened to her. So that led me to approaching some of my old pals in the Stole, and they were absolutely brilliant to have to try and organise a reunion for us in the next while. So I'm looking forward to going to the party and having fun, and getting away from all this very serious law, because there is a real fun side to me. And there's time to have the crack and the fun, and it's time to be serious, and it's time now to have a party. We'd have a better party if the gentleman went the right way for us on Tuesday, but unfortunately, I've been discussing it at length with people, and it hangs in the balance. It definitely hangs in the balance. But I think it would be very brave of Ireland to see that Ireland needs a very brave of the Irish, of course. Big deal, a new election, big deal. In a circumstance where nobody wants to vote, no, big deal. It's not a big deal, it's an important deal. But I think if we have the good people in the judicial review group headed up by the president of the High Courts, we're in with a shot, I would say. But that's all I can say at the moment. I wouldn't even like to give it a number on the balance of probability, and I understand probability better than most people, being a first class honours graduate in that area as well. And so the Masters in University College Dublin, under the brilliant Professor Philip Boland, who set up the School of Actuarial Science, and a phenomenal guy altogether, and he's still around. And if he's listening to this, we're always great friends, myself and Professor Philip Boland, and he had a great time for me, and wrote great things about me, and I have the same respect for him. He was a brilliant professor of probability theory, like Professor Iggy Martic in University College Galway, and he ended up in human rights. Professor Iggy Martic, an absolutely brilliant professor of probability, and particularly with Professor Philip Boland, because he really was one of the founders of the theory of reliability, and that was referred to in my academia.eu project or presentation there about reliability. But curiously, Professor Philip Boland, emeritus from UCD, was one of the founding people in the research in the theory of reliability in Florida, where he worked for years with the people who actually developed the theory of reliability. So what a special person he was to have. World class, absolutely world class, as was Iggy Moriarty, who spent a lot of his time in the University of Stanford. And so when I say about the balance of probability, possibly one of the very few who understands what that means in terms of the mathematical side of it, and I wouldn't like to call it, but if I was the judge, I'd call it, but I'm not the judge. So we'll have to wait and see what the Judicial Review Group do, and hopefully they will be guided by the current president of the High Court. But I don't know how it works in terms of who guides who, or if there's guidance there for any judges. But this is a major decision by the courts, but I think it would give a very good reset for democracy, and it's not a win for me, it's a win for democracy if it goes our way. So it's nothing about me personally, absolutely nothing. It's a win for democracy and a reset. And every time we all need to reset, every institution needs a reset, and why shouldn't the country need a reset? So I've just suggested a couple of ideas. It's time to party, but not about this, for other reasons, because we all need to party to get that balance, that balance between the separation of powers in the executive to get that right out of our heads. Let it go into the heads of the judges and the judicial review group, and they could be thinking and take the pressure away from me, and I'll start the party. But nothing, even if we win or lose, if they don't go with us, we've still won because they've lost. Take care. The country is lost if we don't win, but that's their problem, not ours as far as I'm concerned. So I'm nothing to worry about. My conscience is clear. Thank you very much. Take care. Have a great weekend and start the party, because life is short and we all need to party. We need to work, but we need to party, and some of us need a lot of rest after this. My brain is just so used up that it needs kind of a little bit of space, a little bit of party time, and just complete reset from all this really hard technical law, really difficult law. Is it as hard as mathematics? No, but it's dark.